It's Barry from Copper vs Glass here, and I'm back. You may have noticed, or you may not have noticed, that I've been away from the YouTube site recently. I've just been changing jobs. I've got a new job, so I've been doing stuff with that, so I've been quite busy, so I haven't had time to do YouTube videos. So I'm back, and I'm going to start off with doing a video on one of my favourite new apps on Android. As you know, I'm a big Android fan, and if you've seen Michael's video, you'll see that someone else is now as well. I'm going to be doing a video on Pocket Cast, which is a podcast app for Android, and it's my favourite podcast app, and I've done a video on it before, but it's just recently gone through a pretty major refresh, so we're going to be having a look at what the new one is like and whether I like it or not. So let's have a look. So the first thing you'll see when you open the app is that it's got a completely new redesign. It's got a kind of one main panel with a very traditional slide out panel from the left hand side, and you can see you've got a couple of different categories. You're going to be having one called Podcast, which is simply just a grid version of all your different podcasts, very nicely illustrated in a large grid view. Then if you've got the next one, which is Discover, which is going to be how you find new podcasts and subscribe to them. And then you've got Start Sync, which is actually quite a cool feature because it now allows you to sync podcasts, play positions and playlists to other devices. So if you've got a phone and a tablet, you can sync the podcast and where you're at in each podcast to those other devices. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet because I don't have multiple devices, but I'd imagine it works pretty well. The next thing you've got in the slide out panel on the left hand side is you've got playlists, but they're created by default. Now this is actually one of my bugbears at the moment about this, because although you can do it, you can create a playlist that says put all the automatically downloaded items into one thing. It doesn't actually do it by itself, and it's actually quite difficult to do. So playlist by default, you have unplayed, you have audio, video and downloaded. Now the reason why I don't like this structure is because unplayed will only show you my one unplayed podcast. Then I've got downloaded, which is basically all of them together. And it doesn't automatically give you a great way to see all of your podcasts in one go. Now, if you go into the downloaded menu, you're going to see you've got all your podcasts that have been downloaded, and at the top you've got the traditional 3 dots for the sorting options, play settings and remove playlist. I have mine in set to sort on oldest to newest, and I play it from oldest to newest. And there's a little button there that says mark all as done. If we swipe out the little menu on the side again, we're going to go into the settings, which is down the bottom. And the settings menu looks very, very similar to the previous settings menu. However, there's quite a few important things in here that are missing, and are things that I think they should really add back. First of all, in the storage settings, you can see you can choose where you store it, and you can say, okay, automatically delete played files. But there used to be an option there to say, automatically delete everything, but only after I've kept 2 of them. So if I download 2 episodes of a podcast, whether or not they're listened to or not, they still stay there. As soon as I download the 3rd, it downloads the oldest one. So I keep 2 of every episode. I can't do that anymore. I can only delete all of them when they're finished playing, or I keep them all and have to delete them manually. This isn't a great option, and I wish they'd really add it back. Some episode update options. They've missed some things in here as well. They're taking some things away. So refresh on app open, you can choose to do that. Check for new episodes, yes. And warn if only on cellular, or do it only on Wi-Fi, so that's a great option. But again, there used to be an option here that said when I refresh the podcast list, automatically start downloading the things if I'm on Wi-Fi. But there's no automatic downloads now. It just says yep, check, and then you have to manually download them yourself. So again, one of the things I don't like. One of the things I do like about this application though is it's a lot faster to operate. You'll notice just by swiping around the menus and clicking into podcasts, they play quickly, they're very, very responsive. One of my bugbears about the old podcast app was that when you rotated the device on its corner, it took ages to rotate videos around, and it used to stop playing and pausing. It was really slow. Now it's pretty much instantaneous. For some reason, I don't know if this is a bug or if it's something they have actually legitimately changed. If you're watching a video and you press the button to make it go into just audio, it actually closes the app and takes you back to your home screen. Now again, I guess you might want to do that, but I don't want to necessarily do that. I want to just close the audio, but perhaps stay in the app. So I'd wish they changed that as well. So I think overall Pocket Cast is still a great podcast app for Android, and it's definitely the best one you can get, I think. Definitely against the ones I've used. I think if you've been used to using the old version, this new one's going to be a great refreshment, but you probably are going to miss some things that you had in the old version. And if you've never used the app before, I definitely recommend you check it out because it's pretty awesome. So it's Pocket Casts, but even a couple of quid in the Play Store, so it's highly suggest you check it out. And this is me, Barry from Copper vs Glass. Back to YouTube now, so I'll see you guys later.